Hi, it's Angus Marshall from Big Music, and today we're looking at 3 different Fender Stratocasters in a comparison video. Every day in the shop we get asked what are the differences between Strats. So I've chosen 3 models that represent 3 different eras of the last 60 years of Fender Stratocasters, and hopefully you'll all learn something by understanding some of the differences between these models. Let's take a look. All right, the first guitar we're going to look at is a Fender Custom Shop Master Built Buddy Holly Strat. This is a replica of Buddy Holly's original 1955 Fender Stratocaster. 1955 was the second year of the Fender Stratocaster's production. So we've got a 2-tone sunburst finished on an ash body. We've got the vintage bridge and saddles. You can tell a vintage bridge because it's got the 6 screws into the body. Now this one's actually, it's got the trem arm on it, but it's actually blocked, so you can't use the trem. And that kind of aids in tuning stability. The bridge isn't floating, which it normally should. So if you bust a string, the guitar's going to stay in tune, which is quite handy. Looking at the pickups, we've got 3 single coil pickups, unique with that 60 cycle hum, which you can hear there. Totally normal. Got a 3-way switch, which just selects each pickup. And the controls, we have a volume and 2 tones. Now the tone is for the neck pickup and the middle pickup. The bridge pickup doesn't have a tone control. Got a single ply white pickguard and a maple neck. So it's a 1-piece of maple, vintage fret, so they're quite small. Now the radius refers to the curvature of the actual fingerboard. If we look at that, it's a 7 1/4 inch radius, so it's quite curvy. We've got a bone nut, string tree as well, worth noting. Classic Fender spaghetti logo and Clusen style vintage tuners. So let's just have a listen. Bridge pickup. I'm plugged into a Fender Vibra King, and I'm using an Apollo quad to record this, and a Sennheiser E906 microphone. Let's have a listen. Bridge pickup. Middle pickup. Neck pickup. Back to the bridge pickup. Middle pickup. Neck pickup. All right, the second guitar we're going to look at is a Fender American Standard Stratocaster. This guitar, the American Standard, it's sometimes been called the American Series. Started in about the mid-1980s. There's been numerous changes over the years. Let's have a look at the features in detail on this. We've got an alder body with a sonic blue finish. Fender switched to alder in 1956. Ash is still an option on a lot of models today, particularly vintage reissues. And we've got the vintage saddles, but the bridge is slightly different. It's got 2 screws into the body, so that's your American Standard bridge. We also have a different block which is inside the bridge, which you can't see. It's slightly different to accommodate the trem arm movement. Now we've also got 3 Fender single coil pickups. Now these are fat 50s, so a bit more output than the Buddy Holly Strat. We've got a 5-way switch here, so 5 positions. The extra 2 positions give you the in-between sounds, which is the bridge and the middle, and the neck and the middle. And we've got a volume and 2 tones. Now this particular guitar's got the modern wiring, so you do have a tone control for the bridge pickup. And this is this tone control here, which is what they call a delta tone. So when it's in position 10, it bypasses the tone circuit like a vintage Strat, and positions 1 to 9 just act like a normal tone control. We've got a 3-ply pickguard. The 3-ply pickguard started in about 1959. Adding the extra couple of layers really helped with the durability of the pickups, as the single plies do tend to warp. Now we've got a maple neck with a rosewood fingerboard. Now this particular guitar is a special edition which has a channel routed out in the maple, and the rosewood is inserted into the channel. So it looks like it's got some binding, but it's actually the maple. Normally you just have a bit of rosewood on a maple neck. So this is slightly different. And Fender changed to rosewood in 1959. And that was mainly due to the wear and tear that would show up on the maple necks. So we could argue for days about the differences in rosewood versus maple. Personally, I find rosewood feels a bit better on the fingers because it's an unfinished fingerboard. And I find it a bit warmer and a bit more mellower as well, and actually prefer rosewood to maple, but everyone's different. Got to go with the sound that's in your head. Now the radius of this guitar is 9.5 inches, so it's a little bit flatter than the vintage style Stratocasters. And we've got bigger frets as well. So a lot easier to play, a lot easier to bend strings, and get your action a bit lower as well. Very comfortable guitar to play. Still got the string tree up there. Bit different than the vintage style one. That just helps with the angle of the strings over the nut here, adds a bit more angle. Stops the strings from popping out of the nut. And finally, we've got modern Fender American Standard tuners. So let's have a listen quickly. Got the tones all the way up, volume all the way up. You can see we've got some 50-60 cycle hum there. Before I start playing, I will point out that these two positions, because the middle pickup is reverse wound, reverse polarity, acts as hum cancelling when you're in positions 2 and 4. So quite handy if you've got some noise like I've got at the moment. So let's have a listen. Second position. Third position. Fourth position. And the fifth position. Right, the final guitar we're going to look at is the Fender American Deluxe Stratocaster. Now these come in a couple of different models. This one is a fat Strat, so it's got a humbucker in there. A few other differences which we'll get to in a second, but you can get it with 3 single coils, rosewood and maple necks. This particular one is American Fat Stratocaster, or HSS, which stands for humbucker single single. Now, looking at more detail at the features, it's an outer body. This is a 3-tone sunburst finish. We've got the American Standard bridge, but the saddles are slightly different. Now these used to be the old American Standard saddles. There used to be a brush chrome look. These are highly polished. And the cool thing that a lot of people might not realize is if you go on a Fender factory tour, you actually see them making these saddles and bridges in the factory. So, as well as the pick guards. So a lot of stuff is actually done in the factory. You think they might outsource some of these parts, but in fact they don't, which is pretty cool. So we've got the 2-pivot trem. This is a pop-in arm as opposed to a screw-in. I can get that out. There we go. And that will just pop back in. Now, 2 single coil noiseless pickups. These are the Fender N3 noiseless. Atomic humbucker in the bridge. We've got the 5-way switch. Classic Fender tones there. Couple of cool features which, in addition to a regular Strat, we've got this switch down here, which is what they call the passing lane switch. So no matter what position I'm in, if I hit that switch, it'll go directly to my humbucker and bypass the tone circuit. So bypassing the tone circuit, I'm going to get a little bit more output. But say I've got a nice clean sound on, well, a mellow type sound on a neck pickup, and I want to hit a solo, I can just hit that button rather than changing switches. So that's quite cool. We've got a 3-ply pickguard. Again, a maple neck. And this one's got a Rosewood fingerboard. So this is what I was talking about on the other guitar, the American Standard. This is what your traditional Rosewood fingerboard looks like. Got large frets, compound radius. So it starts off at 9.5 inches, and as you move up the neck, it ends up at 14 inches. So it's quite a modern playing guitar. Get some great action on these. Now, the nut is slightly different as well. This is the LSR roller nut. Take a close look, you can see there's 2 little tiny ball bearings that the string sits in. Now this really aids in tuning stability and also makes the strings glide over the nut. Sometimes when you use the trem, strings can get stuck in the nut, but this kind of aids with ease of tremolo operation. Now you notice we don't have a string tree, but what we do have is staggered tuners, so you can see that they get lower as you move from the low E up to the high E. And finishing it off, we have Fender Deluxe locking tuners. So it might also be worth pointing out that you'll notice there's no string wrap around the tuning posts either. And that's part of the functionality of the locking tuners. So you just pull the string through, tighten the screw on the back and tune it up, and you pretty much, once your strings are stretched in, it holds its tune very well, even with some tremolo use. So let's have a listen to some different tones out of this beast. Well, I actually forgot one thing, and that is the S1 switch, which is this little switch that resides in the top of the volume knob here. And that will give me an additional 5 sounds. So all up, 5-position switch with the S1, that's 10. And count the passing lane switch, so that's 11 tones that you can get out of this guitar, and that's without even starting to mess with tone controls and volume controls. So a very versatile, modern playing Strat. Let's have a listen. Bridge pickup. I haven't touched any of the amp controls. You'll notice straight away that quite a lot of output, which is what a humbucker, you would expect a humbucker to do. So this guitar would be great for rock. Bit of shred as well. Moving to the second position. It's going to give me 1 coil of the humbucker and the middle pickup. Middle position. The middle in the neck. And the neck. And I'll go back again with the S1 switch in. So S1 switch is out, is in. Switch is out. Switch is out. Switches out. And switches out. Hope you can hear those differences in tones there. Now I'll just put the switch back out. I'm on the neck pickup. I'll just demo the passing lane switch. So here we are, neck pickup. And just going back to the bridge pickup, here is the bridge with the tone. passing lane switch in. Well, I hope you enjoyed that comparison video of these three different Fender Stratocasters, the Buddy Holly Strat, the American Deluxe, and the American Standard. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comments section below. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, or on the web, Big Music Shop. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.